The Coast Guard marking a major milestone. Boston Light, the nation's first and oldest lighthouse, turns 300 years today. It's located on Little Brewster Island in Boston Harbor and was first lit on September 14th, 1716. Events are planned all along the city's waterfront today and other parts of the state as well. And we're just going to take a moment to talk a little bit about this piece of American history. Allison Conroy is U.S. Coast Guard District 1 Chief Warrant Officer. Allison, it's great to have you on the program. Tell us a little bit about this lighthouse. It's been working since 1716?
Hi, yes, thank you so much for having me. Yes, on September 4th, it was lit by then keeper George Worthy Lake and continued as a navigational aid by a succession of keepers, both civilian and military, for the continuing 3 centuries. Something really interesting about the lighthouse is not only is it a great, amazing piece of history, but it's a war hero. It stood on Little Brewster Island, where I'm standing right here today. It saw the British troops retreating from the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. During World War I and World War II, the light was actually dimmed to reduce its usefulness to enemy ships. So we think of lighthouses to help guide ships into safe harbor. Well, Boston Light was dimmed in order for our country's defense during World War I and World War II. Another really significant thing is the current lighthouse keeper. She is the 70th lighthouse keeper, Sally Snowman, who is amazing. She's actually the first woman for Boston Light to be a lighthouse keeper for this particular lighthouse.
And we're seeing some video of her right now as she gives tours about what's important about this lighthouse. I want to mention to our viewers that you're actually on Brewster Island, so we have a little bit of a connection issue, but we've been able to hear you pretty loud and clear, Allison, about what makes the lighthouse so amazing. I'm just curious, as someone that's there today, you're looking at this lighthouse knowing that it's been around for about 300 years. What sort of feeling do you have looking at it? Why do you think it's personally important?
Personally, I love lighthouses in and of itself, and I'm a huge history buff. And being in the Coast Guard, this is one of our signals of it represents what we do and who we are. So all of that put together, I was able to climb the lighthouse today and look out on Little Brewster Island, look out at Boston Harbor, and just imagine and see and witness the rich history of our country from this lighthouse that has stood here for 3 centuries.
Well, it's amazing to see, and we just want to point out to our viewers that it's one of the few lighthouses, the only one, in fact, that has a keeper, and that was put into place by Congress to make sure that the lighthouse would have a keeper, and still does, as you mentioned today. Allison, thank you so much for joining us. The lighthouse looks good for 300, I have to say, and we look forward to visiting maybe sometime in the future. Thank you, Allison, and we'll be